Hello everyone, it's Aaron again, back with my next installment of Indian clubs. So the first one, if you recall, we did our basic stiff arm movements. Our second one, we focused on the wrists and a little bit of stretching. In this video, we're going to focus on kind of the bread and butter of the Indian club movement. Once we get all the building blocks put together for this movement will work everything from your wrists all the way through your shoulder girdle. So it'll work the scapula, the inside of the ribs, everything in this area with just this one movement. This is kind of your bread and butter movement that you get really good at. I'm going to teach it to you in stages. It may take a couple videos before we get it all put together, but it's so important. You want to make sure you have really good form during this exercise that we're really going to tear it down quite a bit. First of all, we're going to give you a couple of quick stretches that are just as we did in the last video, just to help loosen up the areas that we're going to be using. They're real simple. The first one, you're going to take whichever arm, we're going to do both, and you reach straight out in front of you, and you really want to reach. You want to stretch the shoulder joint. You don't want to keep this square and just stick your arm out. You really want to reach. Notice how I'm pushing that shoulder joint forward. Once you get it completely extended, hand just behind the elbow, you want to pull it across. Do your best to relax the arm that you're stretching as much as you can. Whenever you're doing a stretch, you don't want to bounce back and forth into a stretch. You just want to pull it, hold it steady for about 20 seconds. We're not going to do that entirely here just because there's no need for me to show you that I can hold that for 20 seconds. Again, remember, when you reach out, don't keep your shoulders straight. Really push that shoulder joint forward. Reach forward, hand behind the elbow, pull straight across. Good. The second and last stretch we're going to throw in here, in addition to the ones we've already shown in the other videos, you're actually going to reach your hand straight up. Notice the same thing. I don't want to keep this square. I really want to stretch the shoulder joint out. Again, the hand just below here, bend the arm, pull the elbow across. You really want to point that hand behind you straight down your spine. Straight down the middle. You don't want your hand floating up and around over here. You want to keep it bent. Now, when you do this, a lot of times you'll have a tendency to kind of lean your head forward. Keep your head as straight as you can. Actively push your head up against your arm to keep the stretch honest. Now you can kind of see what the stretch looks like from all angles. Same thing on the other side. Reach high, reach up. Hand just below the elbow. Notice where it is. Pull that across. Remember, press your head up against the arm. Don't let your head push down. Keep it nice and tall. Just so you can kind of see where we're getting at. All right, again, remember, hold each of your stretches for about 20 to 30 seconds. The idea is not to bounce into them. You just want to put pressure and hold it steady there. One of the big keys to increasing your flexibility in stretching is relaxation. So once you're holding a stretch, take a deep breath and just try and relax all the muscles that you're stretching. Get the entire thing loose and relaxed. That's really how you do that. When stiffness occurs, generally what's actually going on in the body is something in your body, in your nervous system, is telling your body that you might sustain an injury. So it holds something taut. It unconsciously pulls it short and will only let it stay that short because it's afraid if it goes too far, you're going to injure something. It all depends on where it is. Like if you're really stiff on the insides, it's trying to protect the knees, various places. So the key to becoming more flexible is relaxation, learning to consciously take over those parts of the nervous system and forcing them to relax those muscles so that you can lengthen them. All right, with that being said, let's get to the Indian clubs. This really isn't a stretching video, it's an Indian club video. So for this exercise, we're gonna just go with the very simplest of the motions. We're gonna take a lot of the circular part out of it so that you guys can see the checkpoints that you want to go through. So our first one, we're going to actually start to the outside. Again, we're just starting with a single club. As you lift to the outside, you're going to have your palm facing forward, kind of twisted in an upward motion. Don't forget your grips. or grips are in here. So we're lifting. When you get about to shoulder height, one thing you want to make sure is you're not letting your shoulders lift. Keep those shoulders down. When you get roughly to shoulder height, you're going to bend the wrist so that this points towards you, and allow your elbow to bend so that it's behind your head. From here, we're going to close so that I can see under the club, and then we're going to extend across our bodies and allow it to move to the starting position. So again, lift, bend behind the head, turn, look, throw, down. To the side. Notice when I lift this, I'm lifting about 15 degrees in front of me. I'm not putting it straight to the side. It's about 15 degrees, so the club's actually in front of my body. You want to do that because of the structure of the elbow joint. The way the scapula works is it stops as you, how do I word this? As you start pulling this backwards, your scapula begins to engage your spine, and it spreads your weight backwards. If you completely keep everything relaxed, you get in the position you're supposed to be, you're like, I'm nice and sturdy, and you stick a hand, as you start moving this backwards, you'll actually feel your weight move to your heels, and if you reach too far back, you will fall. And we don't want to be unbalanced. The idea is to strengthen the skeletal structure around all these little muscles, so we want to use the joint in the way that it's designed. We don't want to engage the grand part of our skeleton. We want to strengthen the movement of the small muscles and the tendons. So again, lift about 15 degrees in front. When you get about to shoulder height, bend, put the club behind your head. Turn, look under the club, throw across the body, and down. Lift, club behind the head, look underneath, throw and down. Of course, we want to do both sides. So this side, lift. About shoulder height, flex the arm so that the club and the elbow go right behind the head. Turn so that you're looking underneath. Throw the club across the body, down. Lift. Bend so that the club is behind the head. Turn so that you're looking underneath. Throw and down. Notice while I'm doing this, I'm not putting a huge amount of torso twist. I'm trying to engage as much as I can of the movement out of the joint itself. I really want to pull this joint across the body as opposed to turning my body to see underneath it. I want to use the joint, not the torso in this particular exercise. Lift, behind, front, throw. Good. Where there's one direction, there's always another direction. But actually, I haven't done this one to the side. Let's do this to the side on this side. So lift, behind the head, look underneath, throw. Lift, remember, slightly in front, behind the head, look underneath, throw. Good. Now, as I was saying, where you have one direction, of course, you have the other. So now we're going to go the other way. You notice when we lift here, we kind of had our palm rotated towards the back or the rear of our body, palm up, whatever visual you need, but this is the rotation we're going for. Starting on this one, we're actually rotating the other way, so the back of our hand is leading. So it comes to this position. Again, we're slightly in front of the body, about 15 degrees. Flex so that we're looking. Open so that it's behind the head. Throw out. And as you throw out, remember that 15 degrees. We want to throw it about 15 degrees from the body. And down. Rotate the hand. Lift. About shoulder level. Flex. Behind. Throw. As this comes down, rotate the hand. Lift. Flex. Behind. Throw. And down. We'll do this to the side. So lift. Notice it's slightly in front of me. Flex. Open. Throw. Again, slightly in front of me. We want to use this joint as it's intended. We don't want to over manipulate and force the joint into positions that will cause damage. Good. Let's do the other side. So remember, rotate in, lift, flex, behind, throw. As it comes down, rotate that hand. Lift. As you flex, you should be able to see underneath. Open, throw. Lift, open, throw. Lift, look, open, throw. Good. And to the side. Lift, look, open, throw. Lift, look, open, throw. Lift, look, open, throw. Lift, look, open, throw. Good. Just as a reminder, you want to shoot for between, say, 15 and 25 reps of each exercise. Just throwing that out there. We don't need to do too many more, and doing less, you get minimal benefits. So shoot somewhere in that 15 to 25 range based on the endurance. Where we have one, you want to start building coordination. In today's exercise, we're going to do this exercise in what I call the follow or the mirror, just depending on your mindset. But they're going to be going to the same direction at the same time. So both of the clubs are coming to this side of my body, at which point I flex so that I'm looking underneath my right hand, open so I'm looking under my left hand, throw out, back to starting position. So remember, this hand's going to turn in, this hand's going to turn up as they lift across the body, flex so that I'm looking underneath the right hand, turn looking under the left hand, throw across the body, and allow them to move back to their starting position. Where you have one direction, of course, you have the other. So you want to lift, flex, open, throw, and down. Lift, flex, open, throw. You can use any words that help you remember this. Lift up, look, twist, extend. The words you use are going to be up to you. I just use the ones that make the sense to me when I'm teaching them. Good. That same exercise to this side, here. Lift. Again, notice the clubs are slightly out at an angle. And throw. They come down. Lift. Look under the other club. Throw. Now we'll go the other way. Lift. Good job. Now one more time on this side, just so you can see it with the other hand leading. Lift, remember, slightly in front. Look under one club. Look under the other club. Throw. Lift. Look under one club. Look under the other club. Throw. Lift. Look under one club. Look under the other club. Throw. Good. Now remember, once you start getting with the form with your body, and you really want to turn this into an exercise, remember, feet about shoulder width apart, bend those hips, or bend the knees, get the hips underneath you so that you're in this position. You're nice and ready to exercise. Your core is tight. Actually actively think about tightening your stomach. Not so hard as like you're doing a crunch, but keep energy in the muscles there. Keep it firm. Pinch those butt cheeks so that your hips rotate underneath you. And then from here, you want to do those exercises as smooth as you can. Up. But remember, all your checkpoints in this beginning motion. We're not adding the difficult circles yet. Good. Now for a few variations, when you're ready to start building coordination, there are two other motions that I highly recommend you work on. The first is, rather than them mirroring the same direction, they're actually going to do the same but to the other sides of the body. So we're going to lift both out. Both clubs will go behind. As you rotate forward, pick whichever hand you want on top, because as you throw and allow it to drop, we want to do the other side next time. Lift, behind the head. The right hand was in front last time. I want the left hand in front this time. As I throw out, allow them to start in position. lift, behind, open, down. Lift, behind, other hand, down. Lift, behind, right in front, down. Lift, behind, left in front, down. I'm not going to do these ones to the sides because the exercise is the same as we've been doing. These are just to demonstrate variations. So again, one more time through. Lift, both clubs behind, one hand in front, down. Lift, both clubs behind, other hand in front, down. Lift, both clubs behind, right hand in front, down. Lift, both clubs behind, left hand in front, down. Good. And of course, we have the other direction, so let's go the other way. These cross first. When they get about to this one hand in front, behind, throw, down. This time, other hand in front. Here, behind, down. Right, here, behind, down. Left, here, behind, down. Right, here, behind, down. Left, sorry, got a little ahead of myself. Left, here, behind, down. Good. So we have inside, outside, then following. Final one would be, the easiest way to do it is you're doing everything exactly 180 degrees behind. When you're halfway done with one, you start the other. So this is your last coordination version. Right hand comes to this position. As it moves behind the head, the left hand comes to this position. Now the left hand moves behind as this one throws. As this one comes down, the right one throws. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, this one is a little more motion oriented because the weight of these clubs as they pass each other here is all on this side of my body, so it's pulling this way. So I need to activate my hips and everything on that side. Comes to this position, turns. The clubs will pass one another on the left, here, open. Clubs will pass one another on the right, here, open. Clubs pass one another. It's kind of how you know everything is going the way that it should. The clubs are passing as they go to the side. They'll be in the same position. One is going up, one is going down. You'll notice both are circling to the inside across my body. Good. And where we have one direction, you want to do the other. Same thing will happen. They'll cross at this position, but now the club is moving from the inside to the outside of my body. Same exercise we were doing before. But now we're doing them 180 degrees. They're exactly on the opposite part of the spin from one another. All coordination exercises. Same exercise as just doing this by itself in repetition. Except for now we're adding coordination. That's the video for this week. I'll get you some more next week where we're going to add the difficulty. We're going to start adding circles to that bread and butter pattern. So keep practicing, get good form, stay safe, and we'll see you.